everyone, it is Amanda here, and I wanted to share with you some favorites and least favorites of 2017 now that the year is ending in a couple of days. So today I'm going to share my top 3 favorite books that I read this year and the top 3 worst books that I read this year. Disclaimer, these are books that I read this year. They were not necessarily published or released this year, so it really varies. I've had a lot of things on my TBR pile for a while, so I did pick up some oldies that I've been holding on to. Some of them were great decisions, others not so much. So I am going to start with my favorites, my top 3 books that I read in 2017. Coming in third place in my top 3 books read in 2017 is the last book in a series, and it is The Enchantress by Michael Scott. So this is the last book in the Nicholas Flamel series, and you know, the books in the series, some were really good, others got a little bit meh, dragged on a little bit too long, but this one was a fantastic ending. My mind was blown. I was so happy that I made it through the series. And honestly, it is one of those rare series where you will get some enjoyment out of every book. I didn't feel like any book was completely unnecessary or just had filler. So this was a really good series, and I loved the way it ended. I actually felt completely satisfied, and I had to rant and tell all my friends, even though they had no idea what I was talking about. So The Enchantress by Michael Scott is in my third place spot of favorite books of 2017. Coming in second place for my top 3 books in 2017 is Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult. So I thought I would have an extremely difficult time reading this book because it is tackling some really relevant and controversial issues right now regarding race and class. Little Jodi tackles these issues head on, and it all felt really, realistic. We really get into the mindset of these characters and what they are going through. Even if you are worried it's going to make you uncomfortable, it's a good and necessary kind of uncomfortable. What do they say, right? You cannot grow if you're always comfortable. So I really feel like this helped me give me some mental, social growth here by reading this. And the ending was very satisfactory for this book as well. It really stuck with me. Classic Jodi Picoult. She does not keep endings simple. She's going to twist things up on their heads and keep you guessing to see how it's going to end up. So that is why Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult is my second favorite book that I read this year. My absolute favorite book that I read this year is actually one that has been sitting on my TBR pile longer than the other 2 books I've shown you so far combined. And that is Rebel Queen by Michelle Moran. I've actually read a couple of other Michelle's books, and I always enjoy them. Like, I think the one I enjoyed the least, I still thought, oh, this is pretty good. So I don't know why I waited so long. I think just from like a description point of view, it's not automatically appealing, but her characters just really bring you in, and you feel like you are going through these hardships with them. So this character is from India, and they are dealing with a rebellion, as you see, Rebel Queen. Honestly, my favorite thing about Michelle's book, including this one, is that we are seeing women throughout history who dealt with these hardships and made it through and became stronger because of it, even though they were losing things along the way. So this grabbed me emotionally, it grabbed me intellectually. It was a great read, and it is one that I will definitely be rereading in the future. Now on to the second half of this list. So I read a total of 36 books this year. Only 3 received 5 stars, and those were the 3 that I already told you guys about, my top 3 faves. But then We also have the ones at the bottom, the ones that were a drag to get through. At the end, it felt like it was not worth my time. I was cringing and annoyed throughout reading it, but I am a completionist, which is probably a bad thing when it comes to being a reader who wants to read a lot. I need to be able to just put these books down when I realize that they are not for me. But I read them anyway. So here are my top 3 worst books that I read in 2017. So number 3 is actually a Kindle book called Since You've Been Gone by Mary Jennifer Payne. Now, this book was kind of all over the place. Things were hidden from us and then revealed, and then just the ending. Ugh. One thing you will notice about my bottom 3 and my top 3 all had amazing endings. These bottom 3, the endings were crap. And that is included in Since You've Been Gone. I just could not handle this book. It wasn't a super terrible drag to get through. There were a couple enjoyable moments, but overall, it was not for me. My second place winner for worst book that I read in 2017 is Crescendo by Becca Fitzpatrick. So I read Hush Hush when I was in high school, and I am 2 years out of college now. So time has definitely gone by between me reading this first book to now finally getting to book number 2. And I can definitely see how my mindset has changed, because I thought the first book was pretty good. Like, thinking back, I'm like, oh, I liked that book. But it still took me a long time to get to number 2. And now I realize why. Number 2, this was crap. I did not enjoy reading it. I could not relate to the characters. Their decisions made no sense to me. I couldn't feel like the romance between the 2 main characters. I could not see or feel that. None of it made sense to me anymore. And since that love that they were supposed to have wasn't there, I was just like, what are you doing, girl? She kept going back and forth, back and forth. And I just wanted to grab her and shake her and say, get out of here. She was just the most annoying character in this book. I actually am sad that we didn't get more of her romantic interest patch, because at least it would have taken away from how annoying she was in this book. And that is why, even though I kind of enjoyed the first one when I was in high school, book number 2, you're the second worst book I read this year. Will I be reading book number 3? No. My least favorite book that I read this year, out of 36 books, this one ranks at the bottom, and that is the book I just finished earlier this week, Pretenders by Lisi Harrison. Alright, so let me just say that I've read Lisi Harrison books before, and I enjoyed them. I love getting into that, like, middle school, high school mindset. I don't mind that. Most of the books that I read and enjoy are young adult and deal with young adult drama. So I was all about it, and the description made it sound super interesting. All of these people getting called out from the year before who made the principal's list, and then showing their secret journals from English class to kind of reveal what they did to fake or get these spots. Great concept. I was ready for some intrigue, for like revealing facts, like the grittiness and pressure from high school. I didn't get any of that. Instead, I got unrelatable characters who just seemed all over the place, and some of them rubbed me the wrong way a lot. Terrible parents in this book, even beyond like that realistic parents can be horrible thing. Like, every single one of them, really, I couldn't deal with that. And then, once again, so I'm dragging myself through this book because I think there was like maybe one character that I kind of liked and another one that I didn't hate. So I was pushing my way through and thinking, all right, I just want to find out what these kids did to make it on the list, and then who is the person publishing and outing this group of students to the public for whatever they did bad that year. And then right when the drama is coming up and I'm actually feeling a little bit invested in the story, guess what? Cliffhanger for book number 2. Guess who's not gonna read book number 2? Me. I could barely get through this one, and right when I was about to get some payoff, what do you know? Everything has to be a series or a trilogy nowadays, and this book did not have enough substance for me to want to go and read the next one. Like, you're feeling the entire time you're reading it, what's the point? In the last, 30, 40 pages, you're finally thinking, okay, this is actually going to go somewhere. And then it went nowhere because it was the end of the book. And that is why Pretenders by Lisi Harrison is my least favorite book of the year. I hope you guys liked my faves and least faves, to put it nicely, books of 2017. I think I'll be able to finish at least one more book this year, but I want it to be able to get my top 3 best and worst list out there on YouTube uploaded before the end of the year actually happened, since we're only a couple days away now. Hopefully now, as you are looking through your TBR piles or your Amazon wish lists, this might give you some ideas of things that you should bump to the top of your list of things that you want to read in the coming new year, or it might help you eliminate some of your choices and make room for some better books in the new year. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this more planned out video about a very specific topic. I hope to do more things like this in the future, not just about books, but also about teaching and fitness, which is my biggest passion right now. If you like this video, make sure to click on the end slate that will be popping up soon and subscribe to my channel. I mostly post vlogs, of which another one will be going up tomorrow at noon. I post every single day at noon. Hope you all had a great holiday season and you were able to read some good books this year. Go ahead and leave a comment below telling me what were your top 3 faves and top 3 worst books that you read this year. Bye everyone.